Increasing tuition rates. In today's changing economy, it's becoming more important for graduating high school seniors to consider enrolling into college. Although school may not be everybody's favorite thing, it's almost expected that everyone have a college degree or some sort of formal education after high school. While higher education is becoming more necessary and important, it is definitely also becoming more expensive. Having a college degree will better one's future. There are many different issues that continue to cause tuition prices to increase, and as a result of these higher education costs, families are struggling to pay for their children to go to school. A few of these causes are the current economy, the job market, and the fact that there are budget cuts at both state and national levels. One major thing is that college education is clearly lacking in the United States due to these high tuition levels. The United States Census took a survey of education levels that certain people have completed. 17.2% of the survey are less than high school graduates. 41% reported that they had some college experience or a bachelor's degree, and these results show that almost 20% of Americans don't even have the equivalent education of a high school graduate. Also, tuition has been rising over the past couple of years, and it doesn't seem to be leveling out anytime soon. The College Board claims that a 4-year public university, for an in-state student, the tuition cost is about $7,605, which is from the year 2010, and that increased 7.9% from 2009 school year. On the same level, community college costs about $2,713, and that's for public community colleges. In terms of private universities, they have also risen their tuition costs. College Board states that a private 4-year university rose 4.5% from the 2009 school year, and the current average tuition stands at $27,293. Michael Aroney works for the Chronicle of Higher Education, and he claims that state governments and colleges are using new tactics to adapt to these economic conditions, and these include mid-year tuition increases and charging new students higher tuition rates than returning students. Whether people believe that this is an alternative to tuition increases, it doesn't really matter if it's increased halfway through the year or at the beginning of the year. Either way, tuition is still increasing. Currently, the United States is in more than $54 trillion in debt, and that is according to the U.S. National Debt Clock. This debt puts pressure on all aspects of Americans' lives, whether they are young or old, working, not working, students, non-students. But students in particular are realizing that with no jobs available, they are not able to work and pay their own way through college. They are having to rely more heavily on their families and loans from the U.S. government to foot their tuition bill, which will in turn leave them with student debt after they graduate. The third and most important point is that budget cuts are causing tuition to rise the biggest percentage. According to the General Accounting Office of the United States, since 1990s, schools have tried different cost-cutting strategies to try and lower tuition or make it easier for students to attend school. The accounting office claims that eliminating degree programs, increasing class sizes, and privatizing bookstores and food operations on campuses have worked, but they only worked for the first couple of years, and like I said, that was during the early 1990s. They're no longer as effective as they were. The Huffington Post, which is a newspaper, says that cost-cutting strategies today include faculty, cafeteria, and their workers, as well as the travel of sports teams, and those are kind of basic cost-cutting strategies that seem to be working relatively well in today. And schools are continuing to do what they can to reduce costs as budgets are continuing to be cut on both state and federal levels. These budget cuts are not making it any easier on schools, and tuition is increasing and increasing and increasing. Blake Ellis is a staff reporter at CNN, and he says that states are simply running out of money to give towards education, and that as a result of that, tuition prices are continuing to rise more rapidly than the rate of inflation. This simply means that schools just aren't getting the money they need in order to keep their programs running. And it's causing a lot of people issues. While students are very well aware that tuition costs of higher education are continuing to rise, they are not going to give in, but simply because they understand just how important higher education is. And if students have the work ethic to work themselves through school, they'll take out student loans from the government, they'll have their parents pay for it. Many of them are going to do whatever it takes to attend college. Simply stated, after accomplishing college, it's much easier to get a better paying job. You have more opportunities and a greater chance of landing a stable and well-paying job. Tuition may hold back the majority of students, a few students, excuse me, but a majority of them will not give in.